Hello. So we are still in February, and that is the love month. So we're learning how to get love right. And we have already been through January, and that is the new beginning. So we get into new practices. We are welcoming the new, if that is something that we want to do, and we can also integrate it with the old. It's all a choice. So right here, when I was talking about the totem pole and how we welcome indigenous love and how we are native to this land. So you got to think about, to my seeds, I'm not talking about a ship that came over here from a different country and then settled. That's not what I mean by being native to the land. So don't go there with that information. What I mean by land, for an example, I have been to my motherland and I'm still there. Now, a lot of people when they say motherland, because we speak different languages, because they say motherland, they may be referring to Africa. But underneath this household, when I say I have been to my motherland, that means that God has brought me to that land. As a child, in my innocence, that land was native to me, meaning it was something new. But for the indigenous love of the mothers that had already inherited the motherland before I got there in my innocence, for that very indigenous love, those sacrifices has sufficed today. That's what I mean by indigenous or native to the land. Now, also going to the daughter land. I've been there. And we are more than conquerors. So we don't just have the titles that God give us. There's also a duty and a shift and a time and a space, because we always know that there will one day be a son. There will one day be a daughter. There will one day be a mother. There will one day be a father. But we have to go to the other side of things when everything will align. So I've been to the motherland. I've been to the daughterland. All of these great lands. Also, you can go and think about your occupations. So you can be native to these things in your innocence, and you can go into, let's say you go into warehouse work, but you've never been, but it's a starting point. You are native to that, but you have your forefathers. And remember, when I say forefathers, that is anything that is leading you. So it can be anything that can be a forefather. And then a mother can be a seed that you are carrying. So even with this picture right here, and I'm so glad, because these two pictures, I was in the building and they fell out. And so I just took it with me. And so this is on my bag. And there's also a prayer that goes with this. But my son was like, wow, Mom, you got that picture on there. Who's this and who's that? Wow, y'all look really young. That's Grandma Tanya. I'm like, yes. Like, that's Uncle. Yes, yes. And he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. You have it on your bag. And I'm like, yeah. But I was so excited that he asked, because everything I bring to the table is free. And you have to find out ways in this generation that they are attracted to, and that they see little things around, and that they ask questions, and then they have a remembrance of. And it's okay for them to eat in the remembrance of Him. But it has to be a free choice. So when they ask me these questions, God has prepared me. And so right here, we all three, remember the totem pole. to my seeds. We are all three will be able to be at the bottom and at the top of that totem pole. So right here, you have me, but let's not think about the titles. So you have me, this is the representation of a child in its innocent. And then you have the mother, the carrier of these seeds, the housekeeper. And what I mean by the housekeeper, don't think about the structure, but think about the body. So this is the body right here. She is the head. So she is a housekeeper. So she takes care of the body. So you have innocent, mother of the seeds, the housekeeper, the keeper of the body. And then you have the son who is going to test everything that the rules of the mother has set. He's going to go outside of that and test it and see for it to be true. But who is going to see for it to be true? The innocent. To know that this will stand. So there is purpose here. And we're all in that seat. But out of my innocence, I have been, this is the totem pole, I've got to be all three. I've got to be in my innocence. I have gotten to be a mother. And I have also gotten to be the son, the example. To go out and test these bylaws of the housekeeper while the innocence is watching. But we have all had these turns. So he's been here, she's been here, and I've been here. Now I've been her, she's been a mother, and Adrian has been a mother, a carrier of seeds. He's had to take care of his own seed. He's had to give him instructions and push him. He's also had his own goals that he has had to carry. He has also been in his innocence. My mother has also been in her innocence, a mother, and she has also tested the mother of the house to see in her innocence these things are true and what is not true. So when my son asked me that, I was so glad that he was able to hear and that he was not thinking, okay, is this a time of, are you dealing with abandonment? And I said, no, I have been to that land of abandonment, and I have understood that I was never abandoned, but abandonment does exist, and it is a power and a will that will have to be used to abandon certain things that come our way, but they are initially not being abandoned. Once I got to understand abandonment, they are being put to rest. So all of these particles of life that will be woven into a thread will always remain with you. They may be put to rest and then revived later, so you can witness it whenever you're ready, because he doesn't want to put more on you that you misinterpret. But, so yes, it wasn't abandonment, because I've already been taken to the land of abandonment and I have gotten down to the root of it. And I have an understanding of it and I know its truth, and I am very thankful for that. Again, I have never been abandoned, but I had to understand abandonment because there will be some things that I will have to learn how to abandon to know how to properly do it. So the feelings of feeling abandonment are necessary, as you have to apply those things correctly to things that need to be abandoned along the journey. And then you will understand that it is truly not abandonment, but it is always with you, but it is put to rest for reasons. Because when you go into another land, you probably cannot take that with you. Some things will have to put to rest to be able to learn other different ways and how to vocalize and move in those different lands that God will bring us to. So even in your occupation, you can say warehouse, that is a different land. You are native to that body of land. So you go in there learning these new techniques, learning a new schedule, learning the ins and outs. And then you may decide to move on to another. God may bring you to another land of destination. And that land may be business. Well, business is going to carry a culture. It's going to carry company. So you have to be aware of the company you keep. And all types of other things. So you're going to be native to that land, and an indigenous love is going to have to come and train you if you're open to it and the process of it. And also, so you have to take upon that. But remember, these from the warehouse land, you may put some of those things to rest. I said some, but you have to realize that it is not discarded, and you have to take care of your environment. Because if I'm coming from a land of warehouse, no matter how the chapter ended, I still have to maintain that nature of environment when I once was there and not tear it down, because some of those very things will be of nutrients when I'm stepping into the new. So you always want to take care of every environment that you are in your innocence, in your mother nature, and in the sun, and being the example up to the innocence of why rules stand. Because some of these rules was pushed on the backs of the elder with this very posture. And we know that this posture and that obedience sacrifices today, as her son chose a life of obedience. And not just because of the occupation chosen and the title there, but look at the structure underneath that govern. There's structure of discipline and obedience within the structure that was chosen. And that obedience stands today, and it sacrifices today. And these are the cards on the table that my father, her son, his dad, her grandson, my brother, my father chose a lifestyle of obedience and discipline. And I'm sure it was not easy, but those sacrifices, that obedience sacrifices today, and he's able to play these very cards that he set on the table of love, passion, because he had to go into these areas and find that passion, those jobs of obedience that everybody takes upon, and sacrifice. That obedience there will provide the sacrifice, and it will equal out. So that's more of what that was about stepping into these places. And see, I've had to go to a land of understanding those very sacrifices of obedience. And it is only because they have been there. So it gave me a path, a guideline, and I could either accept it or not, or see it or not, but only when I was ready to see it and accept it, when I had got to that maturity, did it align. Because there will be a daughter one day. there will be a son, there will be a mother, there will be a father that is going to fall in that alignment. Because you got to remember, God takes us to every side. With the totem pole, there is levels. So that's what that is. And I just wanted to let them know. So I was so glad that he asked me about this. And Taylor asked me about that, about Grandma and Uncle Adrian. And Carson asked me about this. And I think Javen and Antonia. So they all asked me, and I said, this is not coming from any type of abandonment. This is coming as proof. Proof that we will be brought to the other side of things. Proof that there is land to be inherited, and we are more than conquerors, meaning with the pole, we are more than. We was brought to the land, and not only did we cultivate it, but we was able to experience the life that was there and become established, because we are more than conquerors. More than just cultivating the land. We're able to be established. It's in the genes. So when I speak of we're native to this land, accept the indigenous love, your ancestors, I'm not talking about picking no cotton. And I'm not talking about being brought over here in a boat. I'm talking about the different lands and area of the spiritual side of things. The motherland, the daughterland, the son land, the occupation land, the discipline land, those areas of life. Life is God. And we appreciate death, because without death and the pass away, there would be no new. And you have to really go in and understand what death is. Because we know life with God, you live eternal. This is alive today and well. Everlasting when it's godly. All of this alive today and well, because it is godly, everlasting. So yeah, that's what I mean. So again, when we talk about native to this land, it is you are entering into a state of mind that you are unaware of or do not know how to cultivate the land. But you have people that have cultivated these lands. And if you was paying attention during the journey of little artifact pieces in remembrance of, and even if they don't say a word, you should be able to look at the posture and tell that the obedience provided the sacrifice. And you'll be able to play these cards at the table if you choose to. And these cards on the table are simply cards of love in a different form, because everybody is different and they communicate different. He chooses to communicate through cards in various other ways. But you have to learn people's language and bring it to the table, because there will be a daughter one day, there will be a son, there will be a mother, there will be a father that will all align and understand. This is the one from last year. And then this is the one this year. See, from the very beginning, a dream that came to her truth. From the very beginning, God has a path and a destiny for you. And you will come to your truth. And you will find out there are so many things to love about you, because God gave you you to save you, because he knows. He will never put more on you than you can bear, and you are more than a conqueror. And this very piece of meat that we are in, we have to conquer it too, and be more than just a body, to be spirit. If you choose, it's a choice. But yeah, I would open this up, but I have written in it and all kind of stuff. Yeah. So we have that. And I also wanted to share. So I got a chance to rewrite my scriptures. She's in the bag. She is in the bag. And see, I had to rewrite it because there was a process where I had to keep this necklace close to my flesh for a reason. This is an amethyst stone. And for a reason. Because the process is, whatever you're training for, keep it close. Whatever you're trying to master, keep it close to the flesh. So I had to keep my bag close to me, not out, for a long period of time. And so what it did, it soaked in all of my natural body. That's the fragrance, the oil. So some people are like, it really does not take all of that. Why are you going through those steps? Because mind, body, soul, and spirit, we all have to live here. So there is going to be some training that's going to have to be done. You're going to have to train up the flesh. You're going to have to train up the mind. You're going to have to feed the spirit. All of these things are important. And how are you going to train it up? By action. You speak life over you, and then you put in the work. Amethyst stone, a quartz crystal in the shape of a heart. So I was able to rewrite. Well, this one I didn't. This is the only one I did not rewrite. And it says, I love you. Have a great day. And you can see where the oil, natural oils, sweat and tears from me went through the bag and got on that. Got on that message. Training the flesh. Because we're all in here. The flesh, the body, the mind, all of that good stuff. An amulet. An ornament thought to give protection. An alabaster. A perfume vase. An alabaster is a soft rock. An alabaster represents transparency, and purity, written in purple. And it's on my mala. Purple is for create. Because remember, January, the new, we have the right to create new things. And so you're creating a new mindset and you are applying it by the training of. So this is still new, even though I did not start this this year. It's the same ones recycled. It's still new because we have not mastered it yet. But we keep it in routine every day. And mastery is a lifestyle. The alabaster box is giving God our best and our all. The ointment represents Mary's first fruits. She brought her best to pour at Jesus' feet. This was written in red, and red is passion. Finding that passion in everything that you do. Because it could be something like that you don't want to do, and that could be taking out the smelly trash. Well, you have to find the passion in it. How are you going to find passion in loving to take out some trash? No. What's the benefits of taking out the trash? The house won't be smelly. We won't have nets flying inside of the house. The house will be clean. I will have exercise walking to and from to place into its proper placement once taken out. And it will become a healthy habit. That's finding the passion in everything that you do. Find the good in it. And exercise that. And that will get you into a good habit. And we know red is the root chakra. So it's getting down to the roots of things. And then being able to speak your truth. And speaking your truth, once you get down to the roots of it, that is the throat chakra. And that will be free. And that free is represented on my mala as blue. Because we know that the truth will set you free. All right, so this one is written in gray, and gray is to mature. So in all of these stages and different sides of life, gray on my mala represents maturity, because there is a nature, there is a mother here, and there is a nature that was here. And we all get to be in these stages. We get to be in our innocent, we get to be the mother, and we get to be the son, which is the example of everything, to go out and test these things to see if it works, if they are true. And our innocence will always come back to us and let us know if it works or not. And then we do the work from there if we accept our truth. But once you accept the truth of this, it will then set you free. You will find your freedom in it, and you will gain your confidence, and you will mature in the environment that was there, and you will realize you were never abandoned. You may have been set apart, so that when it was revived, you will be able to realize it. When God revived it from its resting place, you was then able to be set free once you realize those truths. And then that is when you can mature from these stages of life, these different sides of life that God will take us on to inherit those lands. We're not talking about a boat and coming from a different estate to pluck cotton. We're not talking about that. We're talking about spiritual land and spiritual growth. We're not talking about any of that other stuff. So this one is written in gray, and it is mature on my mala. And remember, mature is to understand the environment that God is bringing you to. It's only going to be for growth, and you are going to be tested there. But remember to find that passion in your environment, because ultimately it will be revived, and you will be able to see yourself in it and the growth that you will get from it if you're willing to accept it. But God doesn't want to put more on you than you can bear. So if you don't want to accept it, you don't have to. You do not have to realize that truth. But you have to understand the consequences of not realizing your truth will cause bondage. And in order to be set free, it just does not come free. Obedience. Once you learn the will of God and know how you fit in it, there is power there. But you have to have obedience in the power in order to get to the sacrifice, to be able to be set free. So there is levels there that you will test in your innocence to be true. And that is how you will inherit the land with great posture that the next one's coming up can climb on. All right, so we're not talking about boats and floating over from different estates and plucking cotton. We're not talking about that. So this one is written in gray, maturity, and that is on my mala. We're going to go to Matthew 26:7. A woman came to him. This is the him. A woman came to him, H-E-M and H-I-M, with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. So these tables are very important, and that's why I choose to teach this to my seeds. John 12, Mary used her alabaster jar with the purest. She poured at Jesus' feet, wiped feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. And the house, this is the govern underneath the structure, and we all fall under religious leader. We all know God is. This has always reigned over every household here. And so we know that to be true, because we have all received the glory. And that perfume has filled the house, and we're thankful for that. Because nothing has been lost here. It still stands today, and no one's life is in vain. It is always celebrated off of the things that we learned. So I have a floetry here, and this one is recent. And this one is the knowing. So to know your know. No icing of four corners. Cubed, solitude, recycled air of close, sustain the wetness of morn thirst. Residue water, see at glance, a soft, subtle dance. Clings of open to shut, the ice chest shudders, the command of report. The abuse used with no regard. every day, always. How did things get this way? It's the icing of things melted away. A concept cupcake, heartfelt sprinkle beat, colors of pure curiosity. Love, kisses, and hugs. It's a one-of-a-kind gesture. Thank you, soul. I'm caught. The Hunter. And these are the prayers of the righteous that have reached me. And as I am the prey, I'm caught. And thank you, soul. Love, kisses, and hugs. One-of-a-kind gesture. Thank you, soul. I am caught from the prayers of the righteous. And here's the proof. It is written, and it is in his word. And it works. And that is being reflective. And that was a good 37 minutes, just about. And we're thankful for that. So that is our piece of the piece. Give yourself your flowers. Because if you're waiting on somebody else to do it, it's probably going to be a long time. Give yourself your flowers, because I am thankful for mine.